That's a list right there, and that is rough.
Two of Kamaru Usman's wins were against George Masvidal, right?
No, one.
I thought they were both
Not in 2021.
Pull this up for me, please.
let's
I
see.
think they were. I think it was one Colby and then what, two Usman or two
I think
George?
it was, yeah.
Did he?
Yeah.
Was his first
Oh, no,
one
it
in
was
Abu
Gilbert Burns.
Dhabi? Was that in 2021?
Gilbert Burns.
Oh,
Gilbert
Gilbert
Burns,
Burns.
yeah.
Gilbert Burns. Okay,
Yeah.
so three. So okay. Okay.
Okay,
Hmm.
okay. Look at you can pick Kamaru, and you wouldn't be wrong.
Yeah.
But you could pick any of these, and you won't be wrong.
I kind of disagree a little bit, John. I think it's going to be between Charles and it's going to be between Usman. I'm going to lean a little bit more towards Charles. A tiny bit, though. I honestly, I think it's because Kamaru was never the person that left another division and people just counted out. He was a guy that he progressively was getting better. He was getting more dominant. He's gotten progressively better. Whereas Charles Oliveira, he left another weight class because the weight cut was killing him. He wanted to give it a try at a different weight class. People were counting him out. He systematically just started dismantling people on his way up.
Boy, he did.
Silently, pretty much silently. Then he finally got into that top 6, 7, and then he just started just putting it on people. And I'm going to be one included. When I sat down and when Chandler left Bellator, or when they let him go to the UFC or whatever it was, okay, when that happened, I sat up here and I said, I don't see Charles Oliveira beating him because Charles can't take him down, and Charles I don't think has the chin for him. But I didn't know that Michael Chandler was going to fight as stupid as he normally does, which he does, and you should have. I didn't think that he would be able to withstand the power which he brought that aggressiveness with that Charles. Because when you watch with Dustin Poirier, he took some big shots, got dropped. So I thought the similar situation was going to happen with Michael Chandler. And it didn't happen. I know it did, but it wasn't. It wasn't at the
He was
level
just
of
able.
which,
He was able to fight his way through it. But look, he was in trouble in that fight with Chandler.
Yeah, he was. He was
in trouble in both fights at certain points. But his heart now will not let him stop.
Yeah. But I look at when I look at a fighter of the year, I look at the adversity that they've overcome from before. Okay? If they've had any adversity or someone that explodes onto the scene. Neither one of these guys have exploded onto the scene. And if someone did explode onto the scene, it'd be more Charles than it would be Kamaru Usman. That's the other thing. So Charles he exploding back onto the scene at a different weight class, becoming the interim champion, then becoming the world champion. And the way in the fashion in which he did it, because a lot of people had counted him out against Dustin Poirier as well. And so you count him out against Chandler, which I had. Okay, I thought he wouldn't be able to take the shot. And then he gets, and then the same thing happened with the Dustin Poirier fight where he gets dropped. But he's got the X factor. He's got that little X factor in terms of people don't want to go to the ground with him, and that's what made that fight different. And so I'm going to probably, and as much as I want to give as much credit as possible to Kamaru Usman for everything he's achieved, beating your teammate is not the easiest thing to do because you know that they know you inside and out. And the way in the manner in which he did it, because Burns knew that he wasn't going to take him down.
Yeah.
Burns knew that Burns wasn't going to try to take him down, and Kamaru wasn't going to try to take him down because he knew that he was better than him on the ground. So they both knew they had to work on their stand-up. But I think Burns, the way he came in, feeling, the way he walked into that cage, the way he talked about the fight, he knew that he was the guy that had a little bit better of the stand-up exchanges when they sparred. Because he knew if I was able to pressure him and land some good shots that he would eventually make Kamaru Usman shoot right into his submission game. And then when that didn't happen, and it just changed the way that Burns fought that fight. And so Usman just took over, and he was a lot more confident with that jab. He was a lot more confident with his combinations, and it's gotten better progressively since that fight. And so then after that, Masvidal, which was a last minute replacement. No. That was the first time he fought. Sorry. Then he comes out and he starches Masvidal.
I mean, okay, who have you seen starch Masvidal?
No one. Nobody.
I mean, and not only, a huge knockout.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
I haven't seen anyone starch him.
Yeah.
I haven't seen anyone starch him. I've seen someone knock him off balance. The Russian kid, Rustam Kabalov hit him with a spinning back kick, right? There was that one, and then there was Toby Amada a long time ago. Caught him in a weird, funky submission. Yeah, caught him in a weird, funky submission. But those are the only times that I've ever seen him it seemed like in any type of trouble, really, in a lot of his fights. He's just someone that seems to get by without taking any damage, without getting without taking a lot of shots. And then his last fight with Colby Covington. So, John, I'm going to lean towards Charles now. The reason why I'm going to lean towards Charles is because I'm a 55-pounder. He's a 55-pounder. Okay, and I'm going to be a homer in this situation. I'm going homer, guys. This is what I was talking about, okay? I've never trained with Charles. I've only met him like in passing, saying hi. I've never talked with him. But the thing is I really believe there's a lot to be said about somebody who can come back from him understanding at 45 that going down wasn't going to make the situation better, okay, and that he needed to go up. And him making that adjustment and becoming world champion at a higher weight class when a lot of people right now in this day and age, and they have been in for the longest time of the sport, thinks that they need to cut weight to become a champion. He did the opposite, and he became a champion. And he beat everybody that most people had said that he couldn't beat, and me being included one of them against the Chandler situation. I'm going to give it to him.
I don't blame him. And like I said, I don't think you can lose on this list. Look at Juliana Pena. Man, just the way that she won that title, that's a hell of a resume statement maker for Fighter of the Year. But I would say that I think there's other ones. Valentina Shevchenko, she's remarkable and just keeps dominating very good fighters and making them fight her fight. I'm going to go with Rose Namajunas. And the reason I'm going to go with Rose Namajunas is similar to what you're saying to a point. She didn't change weight classes, but she beat Joanna when nobody was beating Joanna, as far as no one believed that Rose could beat her. And she took that title, knocked her out in the first round, and then came back and rematched her and won again against the person that was beating everyone. And then she did it after losing her title, kind of getting, a little frustrated with the sport, not happy with how things were, and just kind of needed time away. Came back. No one expected her to beat, Wei Li. They looked at that, and Wei Li was going to beat her. And she came out and starched her with that kick, and then rematched her and beat her in the 5 rounds. Mm-hmm. Man, to me, if you're beating the person who is number one, was the champion, and then number one, and that's your fights, you're pretty goddamn good. That's an impressive year. I agree with you with Usman and Oliveira. They're phenomenal. And I could go with Usman right now saying, look, you beat Gilbert Burns, you knock out Masvidal, and you beat Colby Covington. You are the fighter of the year. I'm just going to go from being a homer of being heavyweights. I'm going all the way down to strawweight. I'm going to go with Rose Namajunas.
Yeah, it's hard not to go with Rose because she's such a sweet girl.
She is.
Like everything about her, everything you see about her, you love the energy she brings. And she does bring an energy in that cage, in the style in which she fights, stays long with a combination. All the questions that I had that I needed answered about her was in the second fight with Joanna, she slowed down. Yeah. And then in her second fight with Wei Li, she seemed like she was getting better as the fight went on. So
which you didn't expect.
Which I didn't expect. Yeah. That shows you the adversity of a true champion, someone that has understood her weaknesses in that second Joanna fight and came out and fixed them for the second Wei Li fight. Yep. Because in the first 2 fights with both those people, with both those females, she starched them. And so
how can you go against a person that stands in the cage and tells you, I'm the best? Yeah. She tells you. It's right there. Just ask her.
Yeah. And it's kind of hard to deny it. It's kind of hard to deny
all of those people deserve to be fighter of the year, though.
100% agree.